How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. It's been nearly a week since 2021 free agency. Many teams got stronger. We'll continue looking to add more stars, more role players into the season. Potentially trades and buyouts will continue mid-season. Some of the best signings includes the Lakers and Nets, while other lower-name teams continue to disappoint and not get the necessary players to keep their franchise players happy. Those GMs will eventually pay the price. Since not every signing is a good choice, there were plenty signings that made absolutely no sense, head scratchers. With that said, here are 6 of the weirdest NBA free agent signings of 2021. Starting with Zach Collins to the San Antonio Spurs, it's an absolute travesty. The franchise, once considered the best, made some questionable moves since Kawhi's departure. Collins' career has been a huge disappointment. 1 year out of Gonzaga, didn't play too much in college, but shown tons of upside given his size. The fact that San Antonio gave him 3 years worth $22 million to the 6'11" big, who's played a combined 11 games the last 2 seasons, an absolute red flag. There's a reason why Portland decided not to resign him and let their former lottery pick walk for nothing, viewed as somewhat waste of a pick looking back, selected ahead of Donovan Mitchell and Bam Adebayo. Imagine if one of those guys would have been playing alongside Dame, undergoing multiple surgeries, and being unavailable. Collins is the definition of street clothes, the term used by Charles Barkley on Anthony Davis. The fact that he's played first 3 games of the 2020 season, then got hurt, would have missed the remainder of the season if it wasn't for the pandemic. Collins suited up for the regular season bubble, a 6-7 guy, only to have another setback and be hurt for the playoffs where the team needed him most. Hasn't played a game since, having to undergo ankle surgery for the 3rd time in a year. There's some serious concerns there. September 2020 surgery, then again in December 2020. Tough break for the 23-year-old. For somebody to be so banged up like that after playing 66 and 77 games first 2 seasons, limited role, his development derailed, doesn't give any indication as a promising good NBA player, a role player at the very most. No other teams would have likely paid him $22 million. A 2-year deal worth 10 would have been a realistic option, but giving someone who might not even possibly play more than 80 games the next 3 years combined doesn't seem like a promising deal. At least the signing of Doug McDermott wasn't bad since he played his best ball in 2021. Andre Drummond to the Philadelphia 76ers on a 1-year vet minimum. The fact that his stock continues to fall like crazy after 2 bad teams got rid of him for nothing goes to show his real value. Despite being the best rebounder the past 8 years, the soon-to-be 28-year-old regressed in play, doesn't have the same athleticism in 2017, questionable work ethic, can't shoot free throws. Him and Ben Simmons at the line, worst 2 random dudes on the street. I'm taking my chances on those 2 random dudes. Not the most liked guy in the league either. Complained about not getting touches and minutes with the Lakers. Now he's on a team with one of the 2 best players in his position who he absolutely cannot share the floor with. Will he flip out playing only 12 minutes a game, or just planning for Embiid to low manage? Joel is injury prone and Drummond will start some games, but come playoff time, the fact that the Lakers put him in some DMPs with a banged up AD, Drummond's getting 10 minutes in the postseason max if Joel's fully healthy. Plus, Embiid's gonna destroy him at practice just like he did in past games. What qualities does Drummond add to the franchise? Daryl Morey's also an analytical guy. Drummond's literally one of the worst analytical players since the Sixers quiet about Simmons and hasn't made a serious move as of early August. Maybe signing Drummond's a distraction from the Simmons saga. Drummond, one of the players that actually believes he's better than what he actually is, the definition of an empty stats guy on a bad team. Embiid even went as far as calling him a bum in 2018. Sixers commentator gonna go crazy watching Drummond work on the fadeaways.
Andre Drummond is back in your picture. He's gonna try to take on Embiid. Wow. Did he actually expect that to go in?
Man, that's a professional basketball player right there. That was terrible.
Devontae Graham to the Pelicans, an absolute travesty of a franchise. 4 years, $47 million for the undrafted guard. Great for him to have good contributions with the Hornets, but not an efficient shooter. Takes a lot of wild shots, more of a score-first guard. Not a great compliment with Ingram or Zion. After a strong second season, wasn't able to reach the same heights last year with the talents of LaMelo and Rozier. Lonzo's a pass-first guard, better fit and younger. Too bad the franchise lost him in free agency. Graham a clear downgrade. Is who he is at this point. It'd be weird seeing him in the starting lineup if he handles the ball playing alongside B.I. and Zion. If used off the bench, the concerns of him blocking the development of Kyra Lewis Jr. and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The deal doesn't make much sense. With Zion's family making it known that he's not happy in New Orleans already, the franchise's clock is ticking and running out of time. Missing the play-in for this franchise next season won't shock me one bit. DeMar DeRozan to the Bulls, who had some interest with the two LA teams at first, but after seeing Russ traded to the Lakers, everyone knew DeMar likely would have went elsewhere. 3 years, 85, one of the biggest surprises. Of all places, the Windy City. A solid scorer, mid-range game, not a good outside shooter, will pass up open looks, good playmaker, much improved but not elite, not a great defender as well, already 31, just hard to imagine the fit with the athletic Zach LaVine, who literally plays the same position. DeMar will likely get the Bulls to the playoffs, but the biggest problem with DeRozan every season, his lack of playoff performance. How often will he be on the floor with LaVine at the same time? Will they use him as a 4 and work on the post, somewhat being ball dominant? Will the offense lose some rhythm for LaVine and Vucevic? The Bulls simply desperate to add guys to try to make the playoffs, with LaVine being also subpar defensively. A lot of questions still to be desired for the franchise, with DeRozan also not a good defender. Just too many mixed feelings about this team from Bulls fans. DeMar also has to willingly sacrifice his scoring and try to play some sort of defense. Evan Fournier to the New York Knicks, 4 years, $78 million. That is correct. Wasn't a good fit with the Celtics. The fact that New York didn't create much assets outside of the Kemba buyout from OKC, having all that cap and spending plenty on somebody who puts up numbers on a bad team, awful for the Celtics. Fournier, career 37% shooter from the field for the postseason, was absolutely awful with the Magic in the first round losses. If you thought the Knicks couldn't hit a shot against Atlanta, Fournier's playoff games weren't much better. New York simply not an upgrade with this signing. They could have spent that money on 2 years of Victor Oladipo before Miami retained him for a vet minimum. Oladipo at least fits better in Tibbs' system and a decent passer and has good defense. Fournier's lack of defense combined with his play style, simply not a fit with the Knicks culture. He will have plenty of nights going 3 of 13 on bad shots and boos from the Garden crowd. New York will continue to play hard in the regular season, but come postseason time, Fournier's not the type of player to get Julius Randle easier looks. Some nights I see Evan even getting benched late in games with the team going with Emmanuel quickly instead. Lastly, Robin Lopez to the Orlando Magic, 1 year deal worth $5 million, not that bad of a contract, but given his age, the franchise still not showing any signs of urgency to get better. Otto Porter walked away for nothing. The only acquisition, getting the 33-year-old heading into his 14th season, now on his 8th different team. That's the highlight of the Magic summer 2021. Lopez hasn't started more than 40 games since the 2018 season, reduced production. Is he even going to change anything for that team? Lopez signing with Washington last season also didn't make much sense. Not sure how he will impact Mo Bamba's playing time, who's had a rough couple seasons with the franchise. The team's been stuck in no man's land for a while now. At least Lopez can beat up all those mascots in Disneyland for all we know. Thank you so much for watching this video. Who do you guys think was the weirdest free agent signing? Let me know in the comments below. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, anything NBA basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching again. I love all of you. See you next time.